Shall we start today's session on general awareness of contemporary issues pertaining to school education? Yes, okay. So this is the revision session for general awareness of contemporary issues pertaining to school education. Today is 1st of July. I think we have 11 more days. Last date, please do not count the last date because that is for you to rest and recall whatever you have studied. So we have 11 more days to go for the exam. I don't think there will be any further postponement from the date that has been announced now, the revised schedule that has been announced now. So please get back to the preparation platform and keep preparing. So welcome once again to the session. Welcome to Tej Academy. I'm your friend Pawan, and we are going to discuss general awareness of contemporary issues pertaining to school education in today's session. Yes. Uh, I'm not sure about that, Shreyan. Till now, they have said that the exam will be CBT, but I'm not sure what step are they going to take at the end. But currently, they have said that the exam is going to be computer based. Okay. Yes. So let us discuss. Gandharvini, do one thing. Please put all these things in the group, in the Arjuna group that we have so that we can prepare flyers, or if the topic is too much, what we'll do is include all these topics and we'll take a session separately on it. Okay. So that if you're putting this in the group, then we'll be able to follow up actively. Okay. Because once the session closes, the chat box is not visible to us. So please share it in the group. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Coming to the contemporary issues, let us look at the issue number 1, that is access and equity. We all have thoroughly discussed that access is something that is still a very big problem for all types of learners in our country. So we need to have a contextual understanding. As a teacher, you need to know, you need to understand what are the different reasons. There might be socio-economic reasons, cultural reasons, related reasons. Okay. So you should be aware of all these things. Then there should be informed practice by you as a teacher. For informed practice, you need to be aware of all these issues. And awareness of issues help teachers adapt their pedagogy, that is teaching practice, and address students' needs effectively. And policy implementation, the NEP 2020 is there, National Curriculum Framework for School Education 2023 is there. So all these policies implementation is something that is to be done in classroom. They talk about experiential learning, they talk about inquiry-based learning, they talk about, learning outcomes, so many things they talk about. And these are something that has to be implemented by the teacher in the classroom. So you people are going to be the torch bearers, the implementers of these policies in the classroom setup. So for you to be able to implement these policies, the first and foremost thing is that you should know about them and you should be able to understand and try to know what they're actually trying to talk about and how things are to be done and what are the outcomes that are to be achieved. What are the goals, aims, outcomes? There's a broad classification. We have discussed that in the NEP 2020 session. We're going to do a revision for that also. Don't worry about that. Then advocacy and contribution. As a teacher, you need to be a strong advocate of, strong advocate trying to resolve all the contemporary issues that exist with respect to various areas of school education. So, informed teachers who are aware about these contemporary issues can better contribute in improving the entire education system as a whole. So, in these exams, they are going to try to assess your general awareness and how committed you are to address the real world situations that are existing now at present. Going to the next slide, let us talk about education for all, ensuring education for all. And what are the major factors that are hindering us from ensuring education for all? The first one is high dropout rates. Can anyone tell me what do you mean by dropout? I have to pull up the chat box now. Yes. Can anyone help me with the meaning of dropout? What do you mean by a dropout?
Leaving the school in the mid of a year.
Yes. So leaving the school at the middle of a year, let it be of any class, right? So a child joins a school, a student joins a school, then suddenly drops out, leaves the school, drops out of the school. And there are several reasons that exist for dropouts. Okay. And these dropouts are specifically seen more at the primary and the secondary level, right? And the reasons for dropout include socioeconomic factors. Some people are not able to afford, or some people are not able to sustain themselves economically, so they need the help of the children. Child labor is one of the major reason even now, because of which there are high dropout rates. Please don't think that child labor is something that is only now extend to rural areas. Even in urban areas, at present, there might be child labor going on. And you might have come across. Have you ever seen in the recent days anywhere a child doing some work? Let it be working at a hotel or any place, or even, selling something. Yes. So just imagine the situation. The child labor is something that is still there. Early marriage is also one major issue. Hemant, can you please explain what is gig working?
Sir, Zomato and these delivery
Yes.
things.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Zomato and these delivery things, technically, these applications have a very strong policy of not including minors as their delivery agents. But I think there might be some slippages where an adult is taking the license, but they are making the child do the errands. And yeah, gig working is a Gen Z term. Thank you for helping me out. I'm not so aware of that. I might have heard it. I have heard it somewhere, but I didn't know. Yes. So even such works are there. Then lack of interest. Lack of interest is also one major reason. Yes, Shrey, and some students also work in cracker factories. There was a very big issue. There was a very big disaster that had happened recently in state of Tamil Nadu, I believe, where a cracker factory got, caught on fire, and the major casualties were actually children who were working in the factory. Yes, if a child is so Adi has asked in the group a very interesting question. He asks, if a child is working on his willingness, can it be called a child labor? Yes. Even if the child is working on his or her own will, the person who are employing can be prosecuted under child labor. The rule is that a child cannot do labor work, or a child should not do labor work. Labor work. Okay. This lack of interest, you can see, is something that is becoming a trend among learners now. Gandharvani asks, sir, does any program or organization is acting against child labor? The government is doing a lot of work, Gandharvani, and others on child labor. There is child helpline number. I don't know. The number might be 1908. I'm not sure about the number, but the government is actively trying to do a lot. But the problem is the population of our country. There have been a lot of support that is being provided by the government, and free schools are available for students. And when you are able to identify such students and report them to the government, they are trying to give counseling if those parents, if the students are not having parents, they are giving them support and ensuring that they're getting proper education. There are hostels that are allocated to such students. So much work is being done. The problem is with the identification, right? Because we humans are spread across the length and breadth of the country. And we are, it's very difficult. Yeah, 1098. Thank you, Harshita, for the number. Surely, I'll mention some organizations related to it, Gandharvini. Okay, our government of India is doing a lot of work related to it. Ministry of Child Welfare and the Ministry of Education, they are doing collaborative programs on this. Yes, I remember, Harshita. Thank you. It is printed behind few textbooks. Yes. Vasudharini says, but a child is too poor and working to fulfill essential requirements like food, then is it called? See, the concept of child labor means that a child cannot work for money. If a child is helping their parents in, looking after the shop, for example, after their school hours, then you cannot call it technically child labor. Child labor is something where the child is doing work, right? And not able to attend a school. And the work is sometimes more intense and labor related. Okay. Technically, if a child is not going to school and working somewhere, and that is a labor intense task or any kind of task, then it is considered a child labor. Okay. For example, if the child is working in a hotel, right? To taking orders, delivering food, or even washing dishes, then it can be considered as child labor, even though the child is willingly doing that work to earn money or something like that. Okay. Now, don't get confused. Rag pickers or beggars, children who are begging on roads, that is not child labor. But if it is an organized crime, if it is an organized setup where people are, taking in children and trying to push them into begging, then that can be considered as a criminal offense. Yes. Manogna says some government schools, our side students are working in schools without studies for a time. Can you please elaborate it, Manogna? They're working in schools. What are you trying to say regarding that? I'm sorry, I did not understand. Yeah, so lack of interest is one more thing. You can keep typing, Manogna, no issues. Then distant schools. There are so many. See, our India is a very big country. We have the seventh largest country in the world, and we have a geographically diverse country. We have mountains, we have hills, we have deserts, we have plains, we have forests. So there are so many populations who are living in isolated areas where still there is no proper schooling available. There is a very interesting chapter in class 4 known as Chuskit Goes to School. Have you ever heard about that? Yes, we have physiological diversities also. Have you heard about the chapter named Chuskit Goes to School? Okay, it's in class 4. And it is about a child who is specially abled. And because of a breakage of bridge, the child is not able to go to school, right? And she lives somewhere in Himachal and all. It's a very interesting story that is brought in. So yeah, it tries to showcase that still in our country, there is non-availability of schools near human populations that live in isolated or extreme places, harsh places. Then gender disparities. Gender disparity is a very big issue that exists now. And when we talk about third gender representation, though its identification is pretty late and it happens in the higher education, even in higher education, the representation of third gender is very less. When you talk about colleges, when you talk about higher education, uh, it's very less. And even when you talk about school setup, girls enrollment and retention, particularly in rural areas at secondary level, is a very big problem. In the previous session also, when we were discussing the same thing, I had pointed out that once a girl attains puberty, their parents or the society members suggest the child not to go to the school. They make this child drop out of the school, right? So there are so many issues that are sometimes culturally driven, sometimes socially driven, sometimes they might be family related issues, right? So gender disparity is one big issue that still exists in schools. And there is a mindset that is there among families even now, most of the families, where they think that they should stop the education of girls after a particular level. They have this mindset that okay, will allow our child to study till bachelor's, after that no need to study, or till masters is too much of education. So these kind of issues or thoughts are still existing in our society, which needs a change. Then regional imbalances. So there are disparities in access and quality between urban, rural, tribal and remote areas. Some states are excelling. They're providing quality rural education, or their government schools all across the states are on very good quality. But when we take the general, when we take the overall government schools of different states into account, the quality is still very poor. Many of the schools don't have proper teachers. If they're having teachers, there are infrastructural problems. For example, the schools do not have benches and tables. Even if they're having benches and tables, ICT lab is something that is not available. Projectors are not there. Computers are not there. Slowly, they're working on it. They're trying to improve. But as we are a very large country, and for this we need a lot of resources and budget, we'll surely get there. But currently, that is also an issue that we need to tackle. Then we have inclusion of marginalized groups. Children with special needs, scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, other backward classes, and minority communities are also something, also people who are not uh, in the front line of education. There are several reasons that exist because of which these students either are not given an opportunity to study in the school or are not encouraged to study. Okay, so these are some major issues that are there, which are a problem with related to access to education, access and enrollment into education. Any doubts with this slide? Okay, we'll move on to the next one. So let us look into the initiatives that have been taken up to address this access and equity. I would like to talk about one more thing which is not mentioned here, but that question has been asked in every RICE exam, almost all the RICE exams. But before that, let us start. So the most important thing that we need to know is RTE, RTE Act 2009. So RTE Act strictly mandates free and compulsory education for the age 6 to 14 years. Okay. And on no grounds of discrimination can a child be denied admission into a school. Okay. So education is a fundamental right of a child. Please remember that. And 25% of EWS quota in private schools. Can anyone help me with EWS here?
Economically weaker section.
Thank you, Hemant. So EWS is economically weaker sections, families that are not well-to-do economically. For them, 25% seats are to be reserved in private schools. It's a separate debate if private schools are actually following EWS quota or not. Some schools might be doing it, some schools might not be doing it. Some schools might have never come across students who need admission. But it is a mandate that 25% of seats should be given to EWS. And the second initiative is Samagra Siksha. You all, there was a very nice flyer also brought in by the Tej Academy where they explained Samagra Siksha. So it's an overarching program that has integrated Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, Rashtra Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, and teacher education to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education from pre-primary level to class 12th. Okay. So when they're talking about equity, they are including different genders, children with special needs, and marginalized communities. The next one is KGBVs, Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalayas. Started in the year 2004. These are residential schools for girls belonging to SC, ST, OBC, minority, and below poverty line families. Okay. So these schools are at upper primary to senior secondary level. And these schools are set up in educationally backward blocks. So states have identified some blocks as educationally backward blocks in specific districts where the performance or enrollment of students is low, specifically belonging to the above mentioned category. Okay, so in such blocks, KGBVs have been set. And there was a recent study done. I think the report is not published yet, where NCERT has taken up a study on KGBVs and how they are performing, what is their current status, and all. So the next one is PM Poshan, formerly known as Midday Meal Scheme. The scheme started in 1995, August 15. Okay. After which national policy document did this scheme start? Before 1995, which policy document had come? Yes. So the National Policy on Education 1986 and Plan of Action 1992. Plan of action is nothing but the implementation aspect of NP 1986. So this was the policy document that had come. The next one is PM Janman program. Okay. So it was launched on 15th November 2023. It is an initiative for PVTs, PVTGs, particularly vulnerable tribal groups. And this scheme focuses on education and access to education for these particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Clear with this slide? Yeah, and yeah, NEP 20. No, no, no. And 1992 is not known as a national policy on national education policy, Gandharvini. It's known as Plan of Action, and it talks about how we are going to implement the 1986 policy. Okay, the recommendations that have been given in the 1986 policy. To implement those recommendations, the Plan of Action 1992 had been brought in. Okay. Yes. And one more thing was Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalayas. Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalayas are meant for meritorious rural children. Okay. And these JNVs were set up by Ministry of Education. And these are set up one JNV is present in one district all across India, except Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu had rejected any Navodaya Vidyalaya because they had some issue with the three-language formula that was issued before. So, except Navodaya, all across India, in every state, in a rural area, in a remote rural area, you will find a Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, which gives education, free education from class 6 to class 12, which gives free education from class 6 to class 12 for rural meritorious students. So there will be an entrance exam conducted, and students have to fill in and write an entrance exam. And if they qualify, they will enter and they will get free education from 6 to 12. Any JNVN here in this group who are attending class? Anyone from JNV? Okay, we don't have anyone. Okay, Priyanka is there for JNV. Okay, Priyanka. Priyanka, you're from which JNV? Oh, nice. JNV Odisha. The principal of RI Mysore is also a JNV product from Odisha. He is a JNV product and also an RI Bhubaneswar product. And currently, he is the principal of RI Mysore. And there are a lot of people, students who are from JNV in RI also. Yes. So this was all about the initiatives. And there are other initiatives also. What we'll do is we'll start preparing flyers of whatever that has not been covered here. And we'll try to update you with all of that. Yes. Moving on to the next slide. Let us look into the next contemporary issue, that is quality of education. So, this now as with National Policy on Education 1990, 1986, we had something that we proposed was universalization of elementary education, UEE. It was done in partnership with UNICEF. I believe UNICEF or UNESCO. Let me just confirm. Universalization. Yeah, so universalization of elementary education was also a scheme that was brought in, a program that was brought in for the children from age 6 to 14, where they were planning to give free and compulsory education, and it was done in collaboration with international organizations. With that, we ensured that most of the students were entering schools. We improved the quality, we improved the number of enrollment. But despite the enrollment, there were a lot of issues with related to numeracy and literacy. Okay, specifically foundational literacy and numeracy, FLN. It is known as FLN. So if wherever you say FLN, it means foundational literacy and numeracy. Foundational literacy means knowing letters, alphabets, numbers, basic mathematical things, right? The making sentences and words even in regional language or whatever language that exists at a particular place. So there is still a problem related to foundation literacy and numeracy, because of for to address that, lot of schemes have been brought in, and the latest national curriculum framework for foundation stage, NCFFS, has talked a lot about how to improve the quality of foundation education, and also it has talked in detail about FLN. So whenever you're free or if you have some time, you can look into it. And there is one more scheme that is known as Nipun Bharat. Okay, Nipun Bharat, that is a national initiative for proficiency in reading with understanding and numeracy. This was also a very big national level program that was brought in to address and improve the quality of foundation literacy and numeracy. Then even now in our country, there is a very strong emphasis on rote learning, where students are made or encouraged to memorize instead of understanding the thing. How many of you have come across such type of learning in your school level, where rather than promoting critical thinking, creativity, problem solving, or helping you understand the problem, and try just ask you to mug things up? Yes. Let it be the number table, sorry, not number table, number table or the periodic table or a lot of other things, formulas, let it be. So they will not try to make you understand why the formula, how to use it, rather than they'll say, just remember it. Okay. So we still have a strong emphasis on rote learning and memorization, which is a biggest problem related to quality of education. Then Outdated curriculum and pedagogy. Curriculum sometimes not aligned with 21st century skills or future job market needs. Traditional teaching methods is something that is still following up. Technically, no issues, Shashika. Sorry, no issues, no issues. You can change your name in the chat box.
Yes, sir.
Uh, so in the current scenario, we cannot say that our curriculum is outdated because our government has worked a lot on improving the quality of our curriculum, and the present curriculum frameworks that we have with respect to foundation stage, with respect to school education is really good. And based on this curriculum, new textbooks are coming in. But the problem that is there at our hand is teacher training and improving the quality of teachers to be able to transact that curriculum which is envisioned and recommended by the policy frameworks. Okay, traditional teaching methods is something that still exists in most of the schools, though some schools, especially the central government schools, which are very strongly under central government control, are already implementing NEP 2020 based lesson plans, and they're doing a lot of innovative things. But this has to be caught up by all the schools that are there in the country to meet the 21st century skills. There are a lot of 21st century skills, like critical thinking, problem solving, a lot of other things are there that comes under 21st century skills. Then the next one is lack of holistic development. Insufficient focus on co-curricular activities, sports, arts, and socio-emotional learning. There are so many schools that are there, especially private schools, that do not even have a small ground. You, they don't even have a ground, not a small ground or a big ground. There are so many schools that are just vertical buildings, and there is no ground. Have you studied in any such school, especially during 11th and 12th, where you studied in technically a building and there was no ground or something?
Yes, sir.
Yes, there are a lot of schools that completely focus on subject, then coaching, and the child has no freedom. We know that to yes, even though some schools have ground, students are not allowed to make full use of the ground. Yes, Harshita and Shreyan. Ground was there, but we were not allowed to play there. What is the purpose of having a ground? Maybe it's because CBSE mandates that if your school has to be registered, then you have to show on paper that you have this much area of ground and a building and facilities and all. If a person is mentally fit but not physically fit, they will not be able to, focus completely. And vice versa is also very important, right? So schools need to properly focus. And as we have discussed NEP 2020 and NCFSA 2023, they are giving a proper emphasis on co-curricular activities and extracurricular activities, where they are saying that equal importance should be given academic and non-academic activities for the holistic development of the learner. So lack of holistic development practices are still being there done in the schools, and this is something that needs a urgent address. Shreya has put in group, we had ground, but it was filled with rubble and debris from construction. That is so sad. Yeah, we were not allowed, but we used to play. Yeah, students somehow try to do this, but it should be organized where the school takes care of the overall physical and the mental development, emotional development of the child. Then, inadequate assessment. Even now, most of the tests that are conducted, especially at the school level, are often testing your memory and not how much you've understood and are you able to apply what you've understood. Don't you agree with that? They only see how much you know. They don't want to know how, are you able to use that in some context? Are you able to show how the questions are not based on if you have understood it or not? They'll ask you to write the definition, they'll ask you to write specific points, right? But they'll not ask you how it has come, why it has come, what is the explanation of it. And assessment practices need a lot of change and improvement. And there is a lot of suggestion that has already been given in the latest policy documents with respect to improving the quality of assessment and different assessment techniques that have to be used. And a lot of examples and suggestions have also been given. But the practice is something where we are lacking. And this is a big contemporary issue which is affecting the quality of education that is being offered at schools. Yeah, so yes, Hemant says that especially with definitions which needs to be same as NCERT. Yes, I agree with you, Hemant. We'll move on to the next slide. Any doubts here? Okay, we'll move on to the next slide. Yes. Then, what are the initiatives for addressing quality? As I have, regularly been pondering on, that is our NEP 2020 foundation policy aiming at transforming the entire education system. We have brought in on the directives of NEP 2020. We have now National Curriculum Framework on Foundation Stage (NCFFS), right? Which talks a lot about foundational literacy and numeracy and how can we achieve it. They've also specifically listed learning outcomes and learning goals and mission and vision. All those things are very clearly stated. And they have also suggested curriculum. Earlier, we did not have a proper curriculum for foundation stage. Now they have suggested a specific curriculum for foundation stage. And what are the various major aspects that should be looked upon in this foundation stage has also been talked about. Okay. Then they are also talking about competency-based education, critical thinking, holistic development, multilingualism. And NCFSE, National Curriculum Framework for School Education, has talked a lot about this. Then Nipun Bharat Mission, that is National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading with Understanding and Numeracy. So what is the focus of Nipun Bharat? Aiming for foundation literacy and numeracy for all children by grade 3. And Nipun Bharat Mission has set a goal of year 26-27 and is expected that all children in our country should have foundation literacy and numeracy skills by the time they complete grade 3. Then the next one is PM Shri schools. Now you might have been seeing most of the schools, they're adding PM Shri in front of their names. Kendriya Vidyalayas have already become PM Shri. Navodaya Vidyalayas have already become PM Shri. Some of the state government schools have also become PM Shri, right? And the number is very high. Currently in this slide, we have stated 14,500, but this has shot up. It has gone way beyond. So PM Shri schools are the ones which are showcasing NEP 2020 principles. And PMC schools are the ones where technology is a part of classroom and the school. Skill development is being given a lot of importance, and modern pedagogical techniques are being implemented and used in the classroom, specifically experiential learning, inquiry-based learning, right? Stage-specific pedagogical approaches have been suggested. So these are PM Shri schools. Then Parak program. I think someone asked a question about Parak also. Performance assessment, review and analysis of knowledge of holistic development. So they are conducting a assessment for knowledge and for holistic knowledge of holistic development of students. So it's a national assessment center under NCERT, and it is to standardize assessment, develop guidelines for board exams, and holistic progress cards. Holistic Progress Cards is an initiative by NCERT, which has already been come for the primary stage, and now Holistic Progressive Cards or Holistic Progress Report Cards are going to come for all specific stages. Stage-wise, how and what type of progress, overall progress of a child should be monitored. The specific sections. If you have free time, please Google Holistic Progress Cards, and you will be able to go to the page and read about what they're trying to do, how they're trying to do, and what is the main purpose behind it. It's very interesting. Moving on to the next one, let us go to the next contemporary issue, that is teacher development and management. As I was talking before, teacher shortages is a very big issue in our country. Okay, especially in specific subjects in remote areas and for certain qualifications. When we look about teacher shortages or whenever we discuss such topics, most of us only think about government schools. Most of us only think about government schools. But remember, a large population of children study in private schools. How much is the percentage of private schools in India? So as per what I found on internet, I'm not sure how accurate it is, but 22.5% of total schools are private schools in India, and 32.6% of students are enrolled in these private schools. Right? So very big chunk of schools are private schools, and these teacher shortages are not only in government schools, but there are also in private schools. As I was earlier talking about schools that bring in teachers from engineering background and other background. See, I'm not saying that they cannot teach, but there is a lot of things that have to be known. You should know child psychology. You should know philosophy of education. You should know sociology of education, contemporary issues that are there, right? B.Ed is a professional course. Similar to, you can say, medicine is also a professional course, right? So a course that is technically, you're reading it for 4 years. You're studying a B.Sc.B.Ed program for 4 years, and after that you're graduating to become a teacher. Whereas nothing as such is taught in other disciplines, specifically for engineering. But such people are recruited because they have content mastery into teaching, which is not correct. I'm against that, and I highly suggest that people who want to venture into teaching to please get a B.A. degree. You might be very good at content, but when you'll come to know the nuances of child psychology, when you'll come to know the other aspects that are related to education, you'll be able to contribute to the field even better. Yes, that is separate topic. I'm sorry for going that side. Teacher shortages in Karnataka and in Andhra and Telangana. There's a huge shortage of English teachers at present, especially in private schools. They're searching for English teachers. So teacher shortages is a big issue in remote areas. There are a lot of teachers who, even when got a job or assigned, they do not go, or they resign. Such issues are also there. Uh, there are teacher shortages. There are a lot of schools where teachers are not available. Students do come to school, but there is no one to teach. Teachers are not there in school. Teacher accountability is also a very big issue. Most of the teachers do not come to school. The government is trying to make this very strict. They are implementing biometrics, and they are regularly attending at what to say. They are regularly checking the teacher attendance in the school, and the quality that situation has improved a lot. But then we still have teacher shortages in the country. Then quality of teacher training. There is a big gap in pre-service and in-service training, and there is a need for continuous professional development. So, in the year 2012, 11-12, a report came known as Justice Verma Committee Report. Has anyone heard about it? So, a report had come known as Justice Verma Committee report. It has given on multiple topics. Education is also one area where they are focused upon, and they have found out that across India, there are so many B.Ed colleges set up, which are set up only on name. There is no college that actually exists. Or they have just put a building, shown it as a B.Ed college. And what they're doing, they're enrolling students by taking money. They'll only allow them to write exams, or they are just doing something and giving them a degree. And there are so many teachers that are already in market who have done a B.Ed from an school or from a college that actually does not exist. So when such issues came in front, Justice Verma Committee report made distance B.Ed. They banned B.Ed and M.Ed course through distance mode because it's a professional degree. It cannot be done in a distance mode. Then they also made B.Ed and M.Ed for 2 years, which is going to be revised. They are still in talks. Circular has come from NCT that B.Ed can be made for 1 year or M.Ed can be made for 1 year, not B.Ed but M.Ed. But still, such issues were there. So quality of teacher education is something that needs to be looked upon a lot more seriously. There are still so many private B.Ed colleges that are not actually providing proper B.Ed program. They just enroll teachers for namesake, take money from them and provide them a degree, which is very dangerous for the future of our country. And even in-service also, there needs to be strong curricular reform. Most of the institutions are doing this, but the curriculum that they're following is still outdated. There's a need to include technology and the current issues and contemporary developments that are happening in the curriculum. And when it comes to in-service is also a very big challenge. CBSE has come up with compulsory mandatory training that has to be shown by both government and private schools for the teachers per year, which most of the government schools are doing, but private schools are lacking in this regard. And as we have a very big population, it's very difficult to train everyone at a time. So quality of teacher training, both the pre-service and in-service, is a problem. Are you all clear with what pre-service and in-service is, right? Any doubts regarding pre-service and in-service? So pre-service are uh, teachers who are doing a B.Ed course or a B.Sc.B.Ed course, who are studying teacher education, pre-service, before service, who are studying. In service are who are already in service or already teachers, who are serving teachers. So training for both of them. Then motivation and retention. Even now, most of the times, let it be in RIE or any other B.Ed college, when we ask students, why did you join RIE? Most of them say, I wanted to do engineering, I wanted to do medicine, I did not get a seat there. So my next option was RIE, so I came into an RIE. We find very few students who have actually joined RIE to become a teacher. So for most of the people, teaching is a third or a fourth option. Teaching profession is a third or fourth option. Unlike you people, most of them choose teaching as a backup profession. So because of that, we are not able to get the talents. Talented individuals are not there. So we are failing to attract and retain talented individuals towards the teacher training program. And when it comes to in-service teachers, there is a lot of non-academic burden. Teachers are often assigned duties unrelated to teaching. They are sent for census duty. They are put in election program, right? Or some other thing will be there. And even in school, they have to manage different groups, committees. They have to fill UDICE data. They have to maintain labs. They have to coordinate with government schemes and implement them in school. So they're not getting a appropriate time to teach in classroom. Though they are present in school, most of the times they say the teacher is busy, teacher is in this program, teacher is in that program, teacher has gone there, teacher is here. So non-academic burden is also a very big issue that exists. Then lack of autonomy and support. So there is very limited opportunities of pedagogical innovation that is provided to teachers. And even if the teacher is interested, the support system is pretty weak at the present situation, which needs improvement. So let us look into the initiatives that have been brought in to address the teacher development. First one is National Professional Standards for Teachers. It is envisioned by NEP 2020, and they are going to bring in standards that define expected competencies at different career stages for professional growth of teachers. So all the teachers have to take up this NPST, maybe examinations. I don't know how they're going to do it. And they're going to categorize teachers into 3 levels. And based on the category in which a teacher is coming under, they'll provide appropriate training to the teachers. That is NPST. Then NISHTA, National Initiative for School Heads and Teachers Holistic Advancement. It started in the year August 2019. And this is a massive integrated teacher training program. Okay, this is for in-service teachers. Remember, NISHTA is for teachers who are already in service. So it's a massive integrated teacher training program to build capacities for implementing competency-based learning in NEP 2020. Then National Mission for Mentoring. Okay, this is an initiative that came under NEP 2020. It is to provide support and guidance to teachers for their professional growth through dedicated digital platform. Okay. Then ITEP, ITEP, also known as ITEP, that is Integrated Teacher Education Program. So from this year, not from this year, it has been a few years, the National Council of Teacher Education has adopted the 4-year integrated course that was being offered in RIEs, all the RIEs since 1960s, right? The B.Sc.B.Ed programs, the B.A.B.Ed programs with modifications. They have now brought in the 4-year integrated teacher education program, which NCT calls, NEP 2020 calls ITEP, Integrated Teacher Education Program. So these offer B.Sc.B.Ed, B.A.B.Ed, B.Com.B.Ed courses aimed at producing highly qualified teachers. Okay. Now you are able to, now I think you can understand why RIs have always been in demand, because they have been offering the same course since 1960s. Okay. So these were some initiatives to address teacher development. Any doubt here? Okay. If you have, please ask. I'll move on to the next one. Next contemporary issue, that is infrastructure and digital initiatives. The major problem that we have is related to infrastructure. If we read here, many schools, especially in rural areas, lack basic amenities. Classrooms are not there. If classrooms are there, separate toilets for boys and girls are not there. Drinking water facility is not available in school. Proper electricity is not there. Labs are not there. playgrounds, as we were discussing before, are not there. So there are a lot of infrastructure problems that are there. And specifically, if you look at rural schools suffer the most with infrastructure issues. We are not saying that they don't have building, they have good building. But when it comes to resources, when it comes to availability of specific resources, that's still a problem in schools, especially digital resources. And there was a question that was asked by a lot of you people where you had doubt regarding how our Indian rural schools, what does our Indian rural schools lack when it comes to competition with global schools? It is the digital availability of digital resources in schools. Digital divide. Next point, disparities in access to digital devices, internet connectivity, and digital literacy between urban, rural, and privileged and underprivileged students. Most of you might be able to access computer at your home. Some of you might not have computer at your homes. You might still be relying on mobile phones, that to your parents' mobile phones. By now, most of you might not have got your individual mobile phones. But this privilege is limited. Most of the children in our country do not have this privilege also. Just imagine there is no phone. If phone is there, one person has the phone, they will go out with the phone. If the parents are having phone, usually father has the phone, father goes out with the phone, the child is left. There is no computer in home, there is no other phone in home. So digital divide is a very big problem, and it is between the urban and rural, and also privileged and underprivileged. Most of the underprivileged families are not able to afford these facilities, which are actually on the costlier side. Then there is also issues with related to effective technology integration. Some schools, while the tools exist, they are not used properly. So I was recently discussing with one of my friend who is a teacher in a particular school, and he was talking about the same thing, that the school has, every classroom has a smart board, and these smart boards are equipped with applications and softwares, where for lesson wise they have given simulations, they have given specific tasks and other things, are the assessment techniques and tools are there. But what teachers are doing, they are using that screen just to write and show videos. So even though in some schools these tools exist, effective usage is not taking place, which is also a very big issue. Yes. Yes, Shrey, and I agree with you that personal force has become a necessity in the current situation, but many people are there who cannot afford it. Affordability is a very big issue when it comes to owning a personal device. So to address that, digital divide and infrastructure, a lot of schemes have been brought in. So under Samagra Shiksha, ICT and digital initiative component has been brought in, where financial assistance is given to schools for establishing ICT labs, smart schools, and digital boards in schools. There is something called as PPP. Have you heard about this public-private partnership? Has anyone heard about this PPP, public-private partnership? So under public-private partnership, lots of corporates and big companies are supporting local schools in modernizing the schools, providing them with funds to establish labs, to establish smart classrooms. Samsung had come forward and they had equipped all the Navodayas a few years back, maybe 10 years back, or 8 years back, with the smart labs. Now, in most of the Navodayas, every classroom is a smart classroom, but still. So such initiatives were there. And even in Samagra Shiksha, they have given this funding to establish things. Then Prime Minister e-Vidya program. So what they did, they started during COVID-19, and they have created online channels where subject-wise channels are available, class-wise channels are available, where from the whole chapters that are there in textbooks have been covered. Right? NCERT has provided, was one of the partner in PM e-Vidya, where they have developed e-content for a lot of classes. Then Diksha. Diksha is also a program. So National Digital Infrastructure is prepared, which provides quality e-content, including QR coded textbooks. I gave another name for this QR coded textbooks. What is it known as? This QR coded textbooks are also known as something else I had discussed in the previous class. Can anyone help me with that? The QR coded textbooks are also known as, there's a term used for them. Okay, let us not waste time. They are also known as energized textbooks. So for example, if there's an activity, there is a QR code. If you scan that QR code, you can either get a simulation to perform the activity, or you can directly view a video of the activity being performed in real time. I mean, in live, or not live, means pre-recorded activity, video of the activity is provided. Then pictures, explanations, such things are there. Okay, so this Diksha platform is accessible via web and also mobile. Okay, so it is to making resources available within the limited internet is their main plan that they have done. Then Swayam and Swayam Prabha, their role is to provide online courses and DTH educational channels. Okay, so this is to expand the digital learning opportunities for learners. And Digital India campaign, overarching government initiatives promoting digital infrastructure and literacy with education as a key pillar. So a lot of campaigns and programs have been launched. So let us look into finally the key advisory bodies. This is something extra that I'm talking about. So the key advisory bodies in Indian school education. So MOE stands for Ministry of Education. This is the top body, the apex, the top body, right? Vineet J, can you please stop annotating the screen? Yeah, thank you. Okay. So Ministry of Education is a top body. This is the body that formulates national policies. For example, in AP 2020, it is the one that allocates funds, and it oversees the implementation of flagship programs. And all the bodies that I'm going to talk below Ministry of Education, they all come under Ministry of Education, under some wing of Ministry of Education. So the first one is NCERT, National Council of. Remember, not for, National Council of Educational Research and Training. So what is the role of NCERT? It develops national curriculum frameworks, textbooks, e-content. It conducts research, and national achievement survey is one part of NCERT. Then they have something called ERIC and PAC. A lot of work is done by NCERT. And NCERT also provides teacher training. And for teacher training, NCERT has zone-wise institutions set up all across India to provide teacher training. In North Zone, it is in Ajmer. In Central, it's in Bhopal. In South, it is in Mysuru. And in the East, it is in in Bhubaneswar. And Northeast, it is Shillong. And all these centers that provide teacher education are known as Regional Institute of Education. Okay, so RI not only provide B.Sc.B.Ed programs, or they not only conduct pre-service training programs, RIs also undertake in-service training programs. These are either requested by the states, or these are something that are, from, what to say, requested by the RIs. Yes. Then comes NCTE. Here it is for National Council for Teacher Education, FOR. In NCERT it is off, in NCT it is for National Council for Teacher Education. So it is a statutory body. NCTE was actually a part of NCERT, and in 1995 it became a statutory body to Ministry of Education, and its role is to plan and coordinate development of teacher education. So all the B.Ed, M.Ed, B.Sc.B.Ed, B.A.B.Ed, all the teacher education programs are something that has to be approved by NCT, and it looks after its development and the pre-service part of it looks into. So NCT plays that role, and it also brings in standards for teacher training programs. So it looks into the quality, teacher quality issues and all those things. So teacher education, both in service, pre-service, everything is looked after NCTE. Then CABE, Central Advisory Board of Education, CABE. We call it CABE because it was taught to us as CABE. So it's the highest advisory body on education to central and state governments. So there are multiple people who are a part of CABE committee, and it facilitates consensus on major policy decision and reforms. It looks into major policy decision and reforms. Then it is NEPA. It is not NUPA. NUPA is the old name. I'm sorry, I've not made the correction. It is NIEPA now, National Institute of Educational Planning and Administration. It's not university. Now its name has been changed. It is National Institute of Educational Planning and Administration. It's a deemed to be university, but it does not offer any, what to say, undergraduate courses. It offers only diploma courses and other courses. So their work is on, their mainly focus on educational planning and administration. Okay, they provide training. They also provide training. They conduct research, and they also provide consultancy in policy preparation, planning, and management. And one more thing is UDICE. Have you heard about UDICE? Does anyone know the full form of UDICE here? So Unified District System for District Information System for Education. This will have all the list of students that are enrolled in different schools of a particular district. So UDICE is one data where you will get all the data of all the students who are enrolled in which school, in which place. All the information will be there. And UDICE is managed by NIPA. Okay, please remember that. So Ministry of School Education and Literacy is something that it comes under, and National NIPA has been given the task of monitoring and managing it. So with this, we complete today's session of digital initiatives. Contemporary issues. So if you have any doubts, please ask. And what I want to inform you all is, if you have some specific topics that you want to be covered, right? If there are some specific topics that you want us to cover, please put them in the Arjuna batch group, in the WhatsApp group. Just put forward that we want sessions on these topics, so that we can have a discussion. We can prepare on them and we can have a discussion related to the same thing. Priyanka has put in the chat box, a contemporary issue in education is overemphasis on creativity, addressing learning gaps post-pandemic, reducing curriculum content, eliminating digital tools. Eliminating digital tools means removing digital tools. So the correct option is what has been posted here is correct, because they have given an explanation also for that. What is your doubt, Priyanka? See, the option that you have selected, the eliminating digital tools, means removing digital tools. That is not the contemporary issue. We are not planning to remove digital tools. There is no emphasis on creativity. That is not a contemporary issue. Reducing curriculum content is not a our contemporary issue in education, but addressing the learning gaps. That's why something called as bridge course. If you go to NCERT website and if you scroll down and see, just go to NCERT website and scroll down, you will see a bridge course. If you open that, the class wise, they have class 6, class 7, class 8, they are offering bridge course. And post-COVID, there is a lot of learning gap that has happened. Students are having trouble with language education, language. Students are having trouble with content that was taught during COVID-19. And a lot of programs and initiatives have been brought up to cover these aspects. So which is a pressing issue. So the correct option is that is given here, that is addressing learning gaps post-pandemic. Yes. So please keep asking questions, and
Sir,
it's already time. Yes, someone had.
sir,
Yes,
sir,
Hemant.
actually, sir, about language, sir, why NEP focuses on providing specifically like 1 to 5, class 1 to 5? Why does it focus on providing in like schooling in mother tongue, sir?
See, mother
Last
tongue.
year,
Yes.
last year they had asked a question.
Okay. So study has proved, research has proved that first language that children learn at home is mother tongue. And suddenly, when you enter a school, for example, Hemant, you're from Karnataka, right?
Yes, sir.
So you have learned Kannada at your home, you're talking Kannada with your family members, and before you enter a formal education setup, the primary language that you have spoken is Kannada. Suddenly, when you enter a school and imagine that the medium of instruction is not Kannada, the child will have a lot of difficulty in coping up. And when I was talking about research earlier, research has proved that if a child is fluent with their mother tongue, they can easily learn other languages. First, you need to learn your mother tongue. Let it be Odia, let it be Telugu, let it be Kannada, Tamil, Malayalam, whatever it is, Marathi. Mother tongue is the first thing that should be learned. And once a child knows mother tongue very well, it's easier to learn other languages, which has been proved by research. And there are a lot of other factors also, for example, maintaining, the language speaking people and letting students know. I have been a victim of this because I have studied in Kendriya Vidyalayas, and during that time, mother tongue was not compulsory. And because of which I know only two languages to read and write, that is English and Hindi, though my mother tongue is Kannada. So it's very important to know mother tongue first and then move on to other languages. Is it clear, Hemant?
Yes, sir. Sir, what about some concepts of educational psychology, sir? Like what somebody approached about this approach things and
Sure,
like.
sure. Do one thing, just put it in the group. Put it in the group regarding all these topics that you want a special session on or a separate session on. We'll, club the resources and we'll take a separate session on those also.
Sir, we want class notes, like what the PPTs you use. Can you put it in a file and keep it in a like
All
that?
these PPTs have already been uploaded in the application, is what I believe.
Sir,
Uh,
I didn't find it, sir.
so please do one thing. Please put the same message in the group,
Okay, sir.
and the team will reach out to you and they'll help you out with the materials that have already been discussed, Hemant.
Sir, even about what NCERT, like last year, every year they'll be asking either the abbreviation or something. Like, can you make some like sheet on it and.
Sure, sure, sure. That can be done. We can prepare an flyer on that. If you see the YouTube page of the Edge Academy and the application also, they are regularly preparing this information sheets where they are helping you revise the concepts. So if you want a revision sheet or a resource sheet on any of the topic, just put it in the group, and our team will look into it.
Okay, sir.
Yes. Please don't delay. If you have any such doubts, reach out to us and get them clarified as soon as possible. Thank you, Hemant. So with this, I think we can end the session because I know you all are hungry and it's already dinner time. So we'll meet in the next class. Thank you, all of you. Thank you. Thank you.